it has to be built. And once the sales tax referendum is out.
Who else wishes to address the council? Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm over there, I live at 2501 Charleston here in Mattoon. And I talked to you not too long ago, about a month or so ago, about my husband. Showed you how much I appreciated these firemen here. My husband had been sick for several years. The last couple of years, he really got bad. They were at my house probably, I'm gonna say 5 times a week. Well, Mr. Dare passed June 12th. And I'll tell you why. These guys were spectacular. They were great. Their compassion was great. I called and I told you that. You know what you said? We don't get to hear that very often. You're hearing it now. They are the best set of paramedics you've got. Keep them, please.
My name is Roger DeLong. I live at 113 Omen Court. We need to get more business into this town.
Here, here.
There's only a couple of stores, everything else is closed. You spent a lot of money getting that place up to snuff. Sears left, Radio Shack left, a couple of the little stores there, they left. This place is drying up. I came down here from Des Plaines in 2004, and I thought this was a great town to live in, a great place to retire at.
Would anyone else like to? Gentleman in the blue shirt. I guess it's sort of.
John Bell, 1817 Piatt. I'm kind of torn here because I just heard about this earlier today and I've read about it. I hear the argument that it's a revenue generator, which I see that as a positive, and yet I also understand the other side of the argument. You guys have presented it very well. I think that we don't need to hate them, because how would you like to be on a council and watching Mattoon go down the tubes? I don't want to hate them for that. I want to keep the ambulance because I believe the one lady who sat here and brought a great argument saying that she lives on the other side of the tracks, and when that train's there, that's 45 minutes to an hour sometimes, and you can't get through. How far do you got to go out and around to get to that? That person dies if it's serious. That is something that really, I think, you, as a government entity, you have to take that, and that's your job, to take care of your citizens. That's the number one thing. So you've got to make sure that that's there. I work for Eastern, and we all know what's happening there. And they've had to make cuts. We know Perry spent us into oblivion thinking that, you know what, we're just not going to make any cuts and everything will be okay. They had to make cuts, and I understand that you guys have made some cuts. But Perry, he was oblivious, and Dr. Glassman comes in and he starts cutting at the bottom. He starts cutting at the very bottom, the very, janitors, clerks. Now, it's a death spiral. The less services you give the students, the less they get, the less students are going to be there. It's the same here. The less services that you offer to your citizens, the less they're going to be here, the less your tax base, the less business you have. And I heard somebody say, get business in here. Oh, I'm sure that they would all love to have businesses in here. But how are you going to, everybody thinks you can wave a magic wand and just get a business? I know these city planners, and Kyle, I've been in meetings. I know how hard y'all work at trying to get these businesses in. I mean, other than going to their doorsteps and starting to beg, where do you go? Do you start playing favorites with certain businesses? I really do feel compassion for y'all, but one thing I do know is that you have to give service, especially to those that are trapped on that side of the tracks. Without that, people die. And whose blood is on, I think that's terrible. So,
I'd like to make one thing clear, but we do not have an ambulance on that side of the tracks. All the
You
ambulances
don't?
are stationed up here.
wow, well, yeah.
We have firefighters over there, but there is no ambulance station in that station.
Should, that's another story.
How do you not know that? And you're
I
not,
would just, that to me was the thing that caught me. I did not know that.
how do you not know
That's
that?
it's terrible.
It's crazy.
That should be fixed. That's another problem. But nonetheless, I do feel for y'all. I do understand, and I know you guys are trying. It's a no-win situation. It's hard. Things gotta be done. But the one thing that I wouldn't cut is this. That's my thought, is that it's a moneymaker, it's a money generator. And there should be ways of, through at least attrition or retirement, that we can find ways. Who wrote the contracts for the labor anyway? Who made those mistakes? You know, I've been on a freeze for 4 years now. And I don't mind it because I got a job. And some of that blame does lay on y'all for making those contractual agreements to those labor rates. Either, you know, I mean, something's got to give somewhere. I agree with both. I see it all. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Bert Adkins. I'm a firefighter and medical first responder with Wabash Fire Protection District. I'd like to give you a little insight from the western side of the county if I could. I'm not here to say that Dunn's medics are better or Mitchell Jordan's medics are better or Mattoon Fire's medics are better. I'm here to tell you that we please do not go backwards and cut these people. I had been there firsthand. I have been at Paradise holding the C-spine to a gentleman that took a terrible tumble with a broken hip. And I had to wait 20 minutes for an ambulance out of Charleston. So please do not cut back. We're saving lives, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not cut back.
My name is Jim Bott. I'm retired from that Mattoon Party Park 17 years ago. The fire department does more. You're talking about cutting the ambulance service, and there's all kind of rumors floating around town that you're thinking about going to a paid on-call, part-paid fire department, copying Effingham's fire department down here. And it's just not cutting the ambulance service we're talking about here. You're talking, because the Mattoon Fire Department provides mutual aid to the other two ambulance services in lift assist, manpower when they need it. Am I correct, or do you not still do this, Tony? Okay. It still happens. It's still available. And we're coming up on Bagel Fest weekend. You're talking about Mattoon taking steps ahead. Mattoon looking to the future. Believe me, this would be a giant step backwards. A giant step. And I know you've got to find money. Mr. Perry's, I know, is going with his business, is going through things with the assessment of the properties here in town. And I know eventually there will be raises, property tax raises, I think. And so there might be some money coming. I don't think as much coming as what they're going to think they're going to get, but I think there's money going to be coming. And yes, anybody in Mattoon and about Mattoon's ambulance service, and I guarantee you, you won't find anybody with a negative answer. And this is a service you're trying to try to get rid of. Somehow you can get the feelings, so have you already made up your mind?
Sounds like it.
Have you already made up your mind on this?
We've been looking at it for several years. I mean, we've talked about it the last 2 budget years.
Well, this, see, the thing that I don't understand is the majority of people here has just heard about it. That 48 hours ago, or the newspaper today, and this minimum manning on the fire department, and you can look at that a million times. Some people say it's 2 persons per 1,000. Some will say it's 1.38 per 1,000 minimum manning. And you put in the paper pile something to the extent of taking the fire department after you cut the ambulance service down to 19 members. Is that?
That is the Midwest average from the National Fire Protection.
From what size? For what size town is that you're talking about?
It's all sizes throughout the United States.
Like one size fits all.
It's a group. It's the national. That group was a 25 25,000.
And you do realize that the average, the big town, the big cities, the metropolitan cities in on this too. And that's a far different animal than that. It's far different.
The information was broken down into population groups so that you could look at a town from 15 to 25 and 25 to 50. And the one that Kyle's talking about are the ones that are fit the same size as Mattoon.
How many
Actually, a
people
little
in
bit
Mattoon now?
18,000 people.
18,000 people.
It's going down a lot, hasn't it?
Not so much.
No, it's never been over 20.
It's basically been the same.
That stuff, that is gonna continue to
I would say, table it or whatever you do, and think about it before you vote on this tonight. And talk to some of the people out here, and this is a very few people that live in Mattoon, Illinois. Talk to some of them, see what they think about that idea of cutting Mattoon ambulance service. And I'm not talking about your relatives, and I'm not talking about your neighbors. Get out, talk to some people you don't even like. And thank you, with all respect.
I'll make that clear, that was towns from 25,000 to 49,000. The chart actually shows that underneath 25,000, there's very few full-time career fire departments.
I think we're getting to the point where we're pretty much getting the idea of what you're all coming for. And I think we'll limit this to 2 more comments, and then we will adjourn from.
Yes, I'm Greg Jordan with Nickel Church Ambulance here in Mattoon. About 40 years ago, I was sitting in this same room with my father, me sitting at his side. He standing here before the city council, giving them assurances that they were seeking, that he would be able to handle the services that they were requesting. Here I am today with my daughter, who's joining me in the business, my other daughter, once again, here to give the city our assurances that we could handle, regardless of which way this vote goes tonight or in the future, services that the city needs. Now, we've been there. We were there 40 years ago. We're here today. We'll be here tomorrow. Competitors have come and gone. As demand increases, just like any other business, we expand to meet those demands. So I'm just here to tell you that I'm here to assure you that we're here, not going anywhere.
Here, and then we'll just have one more after you.
I'm sorry, I really have to say that I don't agree with that. I think if people have waited, if they want to speak, I think that we should, I mean, I'm not going to. I don't see any reason to limit.
Well, maybe that means stuff, because you're hearing the same thing over and over again.
No, we have the right to
It
see
does
it.
matter.
As a point of order, Mayor, under the Open Meetings Act, I would caution, I'm sure your legal counsel will advise as well, every citizen has a right to speak unless you have adopted a public policy that restricts the time frame.
We do
To
have.
3 minutes or total time. So every person in this room that wants to speak has a right to speak.
3 minutes. Caution you here, it says also 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments.
To avoid repetition, you can, First Amendment rights, you cannot restrict people's comments. If I want to replicate what this gentleman says or another gentleman, every person has a right to reiterate their position and redress their government. They have to be able to do that, and I call for that. Thank you.
It's the job, guys.
We will limit the comments to 3 minutes, and would you check that and make sure that...
Put it on time. I've been recording 3 or 4.
Yes, sir.
My name is Kurt Campbell, live on Channel 5, South Third. It's on the west side of tracks. If you deplete these, the social Mattoon, all we do with the other rates, if they can't get to it too. That's the question here.
Didn't we address that before? We don't have an ambulance station on the west side of town.
So what are you gonna do? That's what he's, what are you gonna do?
I'll tell you for free, but when they can fire for 4 years. So I know if you deplete their service,
House number 2, negative.
that's gonna cause fatigue on firefighters. Police get fatigued. EMS is going to fatigued too. What's number one say, what's number one goal for EMS, fire, and police? Go home safely. If you deplete Mattoon Fire Department down to minimum 7, Charleston Fire is 15 minutes away. Lincoln Fire, they put the station, come to town. So there's another way. And if you're taking the street department down to minimum staffing, why would you build a $2 million building?
And if they get caught by a train,
We still have the
you can
equipment.
die.
What? We still have the equipment and we're trying to keep the equipment performance.
What's wrong with the building now? Why can't you hold on to it? It's a lot cheaper than $3 million.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
For 10 years.
Actually, none of the money's actually paid for out of the 1.5% sales tax that was passed. Specifically earmarked infrastructure project, that's where that money came from. It's not money from the general fund, it can go to pay salaries, or it can go to pay firefighters, or even to pay the employees in public works. It has to be passed.
The tax just passed.
Are you kidding? Everything's set in stone.
That's
Richard was
infrastructure
here.
tax.
The Lincoln firefighters, they don't charge you a penny. They don't take a penny.
Who's gonna foot the bill at least when it comes to Mattoon, to assist you guys cut down?
Well, we have a mutual aid agreement with them at this point, but
I'm aware of that, I've known her for 4 years, but you can't depend on everybody else, because they might be busy. Their own coverage for their own district. And for today, Mattoon, every single rig from each service is on call. If you take Mattoon away, that's 4 rigs in the city. And the 2 rigs in Charleston come here, that's 15, 20 minutes away. How do you feel about your paying them? Sitting there waiting for the rig to show up.
They would lose $700,000 too that they're getting now.
there's always possibility of that happening. But then you've also heard that everyone goes or.
They say that.
Okay, this has been 3 minutes. Please wrap up very quickly.
Today, her next part of the life, is multi-year something. Or they can take guns, we're low on that. And I know personal, I've seen my lives. Those rigs, you know, it's a location, they are not aware of what it is. That's a lack of training on that part. Mattoon Fire is on top of training. To me personally, I'm sure everybody else would agree, keep Mattoon Fire up. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Terry Landris. I live at 2920 Richmond. I have family members that work for the city. I have dear friends on the fire department. They are awesome. Anytime I have needed to call them. But I do have one question. You guys passed for $30,000 to go to lighting for a municipal parking lot at 21st and Broadway. Where is this parking lot?
Yeah.
It's behind the Villa Pizza and De Beers and that area.
And that is paid for out of the deal.
And we're gonna make that a municipal parking lot. Okay.
It already
That's fine.
is.
That's fine, that's $30,000, don't worry about it. Part of the building falling apart. My house was built in 1854. I'm not tearing it down, I'm putting repairs in it. I'm sorry. Money is being blown that I don't agree with, and these guys deserve jobs because they're good at their jobs.
I would point out that the money that you're talking about for the parking lot comes from motor fuel tax fund. Or TIF district.
We are not notified of any money being spent. And until tonight, and it's $30,000 here, $20,000 there. We don't know what's going on in this town.
Mayor, if I could address that, because we meet twice a month.
And I'll start being here if that's what it's
I
gonna
wish you
take.
would. I wish you would.
Expenditures like that are done at the
The
Public
first-
Works meeting, which is the last.
It's the first and third,
We'll be
Tuesday
here.
of the month. We have a.
Guys.
Budget meeting.
We have a public meeting about the budget every year.
That's fine. I'll see you.
We look forward to your input.
You'll
And I
get
would
it.
point out that there is a reporter from the newspaper that is here usually for every meeting, and there's a report in the newspaper the next day or two about what was covered in the meeting. Prior to the meeting, there is in the newspaper what the agenda items are. So people should know what we're doing.
I live, my name's Barb Ziegler. I live at
I'm
2820.
sorry. We need to have your name for the record, ma'am.
My name is Barb Ziegler. I live at 2821 Walnut. So that means I live on the west side of town, on the other side of the railroad tracks. Yes, I'm only about 2 blocks away from the fire department, and they do a wonderful job. But if I need an ambulance, and that train's sitting on the track for an hour, and I die, my people that I leave behind are gonna sue this city for everything they've got because you will not provide an ambulance on the west side of town. What are you doing? You're talking about cutting one. When we need an ambulance moved to the west side of town. We don't need to cut one. We need another one moved. I'm not complaining about the fire department. I'm not complaining about the EMTs. I'm complaining about the way this city is ran. I don't think there's a member on that council that if a monkey was running against them, I'd vote for the monkey.
Way to go, Barbara Sue.
Hi, everyone. I've been in emergency services for 35 years now. I think it's one of the older ones here, I guess, except for a few back then. I've had this experience of running a fire-based EMS service. And I've talked to Guile, and I've talked to city managers on the other side of the county. There's money to be made here. It's not a question of quality service between Richardsburg and Mattoon Fire. They're both offering quality service. The question tonight is the financial aspect of it. The ambulance is a huge revenue stream for the city. I've experienced that again for 35 years. You run the numbers, the cost per capita for what departments of EMS run and ones that do not, and they are extremely different. Charleston is one of the cheapest fire departments in this part of Illinois, cost per capita, because we're EMS-based fire service. My aspect is Mattoon